Hey guys, welcome back. Well, this week turns out to have been super busy about leaks and rumours on the iPhone that's coming out later this year. Not only that, I've got some brand new renders to show you as well. iPhone news have been pretty quiet for a while, and then suddenly this week, we've got a whole load to go through. The first bit of information to bring you is that if you like your little diddly iPhone 13 mini, go buy one now, because the mini is no more. People have voted with their wallets and credit cards, and it just was not popular enough. So that's it. Apple have cut it. The 13 mini will be the last you get of the smaller phones. Moving forward, we're just going to have 4 phones in the range when the 14s are released later this year. Currently, they're under code names D27 and 28 for the regular phones and 73 and 74 for the 2 larger phones. So, of course, in English, that means we're going to be getting the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Max. And then also, of course, we'll get the iPhone 14 Pro and the Pro Max. 2 screen sizes only available this year, the 6.1 inch and the 6.7 inch. And there will be a couple of differences between the 2 handsets as well. Before talking about the chips and some of the differences on the phones, let's just talk about some more design elements. Everyone loves talking bezels and notches, and I'm not going to be any different. The bezels look like they're going to be slightly smaller, slightly thinner on these next range of iPhones, but the speaker will still be embedded at the top. Talking of the top leads me on to the notches. Well, on the 2 more regular phones, the notch will be exactly as you've got it on the iPhone 13. But on the 2 more premium and pro phones, you are going to get this pill and notch idea, where you're going to have the more pill-shaped and the hole punch as well. The idea being that the new hole is going to be for the Face ID projector, and the pill-shaped cutout is going to be for the Face ID infrared. But that will only be on the 2 more premium phones. Last year, on some renders that John Prosser put out, at that point, it looked like the phone may have been a little bit thicker, and that would account for a bigger battery, and also, and most importantly, from a style point of view, that the camera was going to be flush to the back of the phone at that stage. Well, as you can see from these renders, that looks to have moved on, and the camera will still have the bump at the back. The display on the back of the phone, the way the cameras look on the back of the phone, we think is going to remain pretty much unchanged. There is talk of the 48 megapixel camera going inside, but it is not going to be flat on the back. You're still going to have your camera bump. And now to the really big news of the week, which is we are going to get 2 chips in this year's iPhone 14. You'd have to go back to the iPhone 5 and 5S around about a decade ago for the last time that Apple released brand new phones with different chips in them. This year, in the more regular phones, you're going to get this year's current chip, the A15 Bionic chip, and then in the 2 Pro and premium phones, you'll get the brand new A16 Bionic chip, which means that inside you'll have different chips, and on the outside, of course, on the premium phones, as we've already discussed, you'll have the pill and notch. So that's going to be what differentiates the 2 phones. But what's your thoughts on this? I mean, Apple have done it in the past, as I say, but it's been a long time since they've done it, and you could look at it in one of 2 ways. You could either say, well, they're just a company that wants to make more money. Fair enough. They're in it to make profit. Or it could be to do with the chip shortage. What's your thoughts, though? And do you think it's a good idea to have 2 different chips running in the same series of phones? With the news that there could be 2 chips in this year's iPhone 14 lineup, there is some good news for you and I. And that comes down to the money, to the brass tacks. For the first time ever, I reckon we're going to be able to buy a 6.7-inch iPhone, one of the brand new ones, for under £1,000. I bet you they sell it for about $8.99. Sounds a good figure to me. Brings it in under £1,000 and makes a difference between the regular phones and, of course, the Pro range of phones. But what do you reckon? If it came in, if you got an iPhone 14 Pro at, say, $8.99 with last year's chip in it, as it would then be, would you then go and buy it? Let me know in the comments. I reckon that sounds a pretty attractive proposition. And just one more story to cover, and that is satellites. Do you remember around about, it was just a couple of weeks before last year's event, there were rumours that iPhones were going to be able to have satellite coverage on them, so that if you were in an area with no connection, you'd still be able to make emergency text messages. All went very quiet for the best part of the year, and suddenly, rumours are coming out of California and Apple Park that once again is very much in their line of vision. I don't think it's going to be ready in time for this year's iPhone 14, but expect to see it next year because Apple are once again working on it. That's all I've got time for on this video. I told you that there was loads to cover, loads of new updates on the iPhone 14 rumours that have been going around this week. If there's any rumours that you heard that I've not covered in this video, let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.